Hello, welcome back. So, this video is going to be about redheads and the MC1R gene. Now, everyone has that gene, every person. And that gene is responsible for turning red pigmented hair into brown pigmented hair. Now on redheads, or with redheads, that gene somehow either the pigmentation got too built up, so it wasn't able to do its job, or there was a blockage somewhere, some other way, that blocked it from doing its job. So instead of turning the red pigment into brown, it wasn't able to do that, so it overflowed essentially, and that red pigment stayed and became more pigmented with red. So that is essentially what redheads genetically are and how they're created. You need to be a redhead, you need both parents, both biological parents, to be a redhead, or not be a redhead, but have that redhead gene. So the mutated MC1R gene. And it may not be right down the line, it can be 5 generations ago, it doesn't matter. As long as they carry that gene in their genes, that's all they need to create a redheaded offspring. But both parents need to carry it, not just one. I'm gonna say this wrong. The femelanin, I probably said that totally wrong. That is the pigment that creates the red hair. That is the actual name of the pigment. So the MC1R gene is that it stands for melanocortin 1 receptor. And I probably said that wrong too, but that's alright. Redheads tend to feel more pain than other people. And that is because see, I just researched this in depth like half an hour ago because I did it before, but it's all very scattered and it's interesting, so I wanted to do some research on it. So the MC1R gene makes you process pain differently. So when it's mutated, the redheads, we process pain differently than other people do, other colored haired people do. Yeah. Which I can confirm that, being one, obviously. I do. I feel pain more and more intensely than other people I know that aren't redheads do. And then what I've been told you should be Because some things have always affected me in a certain way. It's just, I thought that was normal growing up. And then I get told by doctors, other kids when I was growing up, whatever, that what I'm feeling shouldn't be that painful. Or it shouldn't affect me as much, But it did. And I never knew why until I discovered this whole realm of redheads are different. About a year to 2 years ago. So it's fairly recent that I've even found out about this. But yeah, it's quite interesting. I think so anyway. No. We are harder to sedate. We require 20% more anesthesia. I think I said that right. To sedate us than the typical person. However, we are supposed to be more sensitive to opioids. So that's scary. Apparently we need less opioids to do the job. Which is a scary thought, because if someone, a healthcare professional, whatever, isn't familiar with this whole redhead thing, they wouldn't take that into consideration if you didn't bring it up to them. And that could be dangerous. It could also just be an inconvenience, but you never know. Just kind of depends on how your specific body handles it. We are definitely more sensitive to heat and cold, though. Definitely. I've always been more sensitive to temperature. Heat always seems way more hot than what it should be. It feels more intense. Yeah. Same with the cold. It feels a lot colder than what it is, and I can handle it a lot less. I can't handle it as well as what other people can. There's that. We are more prone to sunburns, which is a fact. I've gotten a sunburn pretty much every year of my life throughout my childhood, and since I've been an adult, probably 2 years of my adult life, just because I just thought I was going to burn, and that's just the way it was. And I started doing more research and found that I just need a specific kind and strength of sunscreen and to apply it at certain intervals. So there's just some research that has to go into some things that I wasn't aware of until a certain point. But it is definitely true. However, our bodies seem to produce more vitamin D, which, obviously promotes bone and calcium. So, that's good. But in doing that, we are more prone to melanoma. So, it doesn't say that we're going to get it, or that it's a concern. It just, we're more prone to it. So it's probably a thing that, if you're a redhead, your doctor will probably at some point be looking out for. Well, they should be, anyways. So we have fewer strands of hair on our bodies. On our head. Redheads have 90,000 strands of hair on their head, an average. Blondes typically have 110,000. And darker haired people tend to have about 140,000. However, redheads tend to have, or do have, thicker stranded hair. So there's fewer of them, but the strands themselves, the individual strands, are thicker. So it's easier to like spread apart and like, you know. And it is. It feels heavy sometimes, but it also, you can feel the lightness of it too. Then sometimes it also just feels thicker as well, but that's just the weight of it. And redheads will never go gray. We will go from a red to maybe a copper, and then eventually we'll go white. But we will never go gray. Yay! See, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like myself white or if I'm gonna wish I was gray. I don't know. Almost every single woman in my family that I know of that is alive right now has gray hair that is older. So I have nothing really to compare it to. So that is my little redhead information topic. That was a fail. But yeah, my personal experience, all of this is true, aside from the stuff that I obviously haven't experienced yet. So yeah, I just thought it was pretty interesting. Oh, also, red hair combined with blue eyes is the rarest combination, and red hair combined with green eyes is the second rarest. You can see green eyes. They go to a light gray sometimes. Sometimes they're a bluey color, but their main color is green. So there's that. Bye.